Season greetings. I am Adele, the costume manager, and I welcome you to our holiday performance, The Waif.
I am Julia, the assistant to the director. Edward and Florence run into the living room straight up to the Christmas tree. They open their presents one by one as Edith looks at them.
Good morning, children. Merry Christmas.
At what time is breakfast served, Edith?
8 o'clock, Master Edward.
We'll get to it then, and make sure my boiled eggs isn't meant to be. Ronnie, you could have thrown it against the wall yesterday morning and it wouldn't have smashed.
Of course, Master Edward.
Are Mama and Papa awake yet?
I don't believe so, Mistress Florence.
Well, move yourself, fold in closer, whatever you do. Papa does not employ you to stand around and gawk at us while opening our presents.
Of course.
Edith starts to move towards the door. Edward and Florence exchange a glance. Oh, indeed, Edith. Florrie and I have got a gift for you.
Oh, you shouldn't have done.
Perhaps not. Edward presents Edith with a carefully wrapped box. Edith takes it gratefully.
Why, thank you, children.
It's our pleasure.
Edith carefully unwraps the present, then screams as a dead rat drops out of the bottom of it. Edward and Florence fall about laughing.
That really was not funny.
Aren't you going to pick it up and dispose of it?
Mama would be so upset to find that on her prized Persian rug.
Edith reluctantly picks up the rat and picks up the box before heading out to the door.
So, a rating out of 10 for this year's presents.
A mild 6. Papa Shutterbird must be wavering slightly. I did like the Skittles, though.
I think you'll find those Skittles were mine.
Dear sister, what's yours is mine. Florence starts to scream
Hey!
as Edward laughs hysterically. Samuel and Sheila run into the living room fully dressed.
What kind of commotion is this?
The Skittles you gave me. Edward has taken them for his own. The absolute beast!
Edward, give them back to your sister.
Edward reluctantly hands back the box of Skittles to Florence.
That was very naughty, Edward.
I'll let it pass, Celia. The boy has in surprising nature. Spirit.
I think you've forgotten how to present yourselves, children.
Spirit.
Sheila and Samuel seat themselves on the sofa.
Edward and Florence bow and curtsy respectfully.
Good morning, Papa.
Good morning, Mama. Good morning, Papa. Look, Flora, a gigantic spider!
Let's go and put it in Edith's hair.
Edward picks up the spider and runs off with Florence in tow. Edith's scream can be heard emanating from the hallway.
Such spirit!
I have expressly asked Edith to leave us a copy of the Times in the living room. I so look forward to the Christmas Day edition. And where is it?
There's heavy snow under there. Maybe the postman couldn't get to the door to deliver it.
Then the postman should try to be harder. No wonder the country's going to port. I do hope my sister and her husband will be on time for this luncheon.
I sincerely doubt it.
Why?
I canceled their visit yesterday afternoon.
Why, Samuel?
Celia, there are such awful boars and such parasites. They fill their faces with their hams, cooked delicious goose, then they make their way back to Surrey with barely a thank you uttered.
But Christmas is for family, dear.
That's just as well we have two lovely children there.
Another scream rings out from Edith.
Such spirit.
Samuel gets to his feet.
Samuel, breakfast is served shortly.
I have unfinished accounts in my office. We haven't prepared this house with huge hands. It takes a lot of work and effort to sustain our level of comfort.
But it's Christmas Day.
You know full well I've never made much beef about Christmas Day. It's just a further day without expensive and servants out added to our mulled wine. A tradition I feel compelled to cease as of today. See you shortly, dear. I'm sure you have a novel that needs finishing or something.
Samuel gets to his feet and walks out of the living room. Celia stands up and walks somewhat sadly over to the Christmas tree. Edith enters carrying a jug of milk.
Breakfast will be served in half an hour. Are you all right?
Of course I'm all right, Edith. Why shouldn't I be?
It's just that you looked a bit sad, that's all.
Maybe you should stow the fire further, Edith. It feels a bit chilly in here.
More snow coming, they say. Just as well. George got all the Christmas food 2 days ago. It'll warm up shortly, I'm certain.
Samuel enters the living room carrying a seemingly lifeless girl, Lillian, who is dressed in dirty dual clothing. Her hair is matted and she clutches a small doll. Samuel places Lillian by the fire.
Good God!
I don't know. Don't stand there gulping, Edith. Get me some blankets and a piping hot tea.
Edith rushes out of the living room.
What's going on, Samuel? Who is that girl?
I'll be darned if I know. Found her in my study. Window was open.
She climbed through the window?
Well, that could only be presumed, Celia. I haven't been secretly going beggar girls in the potting shed.
She's breathing.
Yes, she must have attempted to break in through my study window. Cheeky blighter.
I have told you about leaving that window open, Samuel.
It is one of life's few pleasures, Celia. A draught of nap on one's neck and a freshly lit cigar. Now wrap this. Found in a blanket. Revive it. Then we contact the local workhouse.
On Christmas Day, in the snow, you'll be lucky to find stuff there.
In that case, we'll hurl her out of the snow from whence she came. She had the strength to climb up the window so she can wally well trudge to whatever ghetto she escaped from.
She has a name, you know.
Tammy and Sela jump back in shock. Lillian brushes off the blanket and gets to her feet. She strides over the table and starts stuffing pieces of ham and cheese into her mouth.
Good God, Samuel, stop her. That's our Christmas breakfast.
And a very fine breakfast it is, too. Haven't eaten for days.
Well, you can be hungry elsewhere. You've quite clearly revived, so I'll ask Edith to package you up some bread and send you on your way.
Lillian,
I'm sorry?
That's my name, Lillian.
Lillian pours herself some milk into a glass and downs it. She wipes her mouth on her sleeve.
Ham was nice. Milk's a bit sour. Still, it's been snowing. Late delivery and all that. So I'll let you off.
Darn's impotence. Are you a thief?
No,
Then kindly explain what you ended up lying in my study.
not sure about that. Probably come back to me. Christmas Day, is it?
Why, yes.
Good. I was out of bed at Christmas.
Lillian walks over to the sofa. Whistling Once in a Royal David City, Samuel and Selena exchange confused glances. Edith answers with some blankets and a mug of tea. She looks surprised at Lillian's alertness, proceeds to put a blanket over Lillian's knees and hands her the mug.
Ty, love. Lovely brew.
My pleasure, young miss.
Oh, no need a young miss me. I ain't got no airs and graces.
Well, that's apparent.
You can't stay here. You do realize that. Once that tea is drunk, you're back out there in the snow.
Well then, I'll just have to savor every drop now. Make the time go slower. You've got a lovely house, mister.
Thank you. And don't you think about it and telling your friends about it and robbing us, will you? We've got dogs. Like those.
Now, why would I want to do that? Today of all days, but very kind of me you have, mister, giving me blankets and tea and comfy sofa. I'm not used to all this.
I bet you not.
Edward and Florence enter and look at shock at Lillian.
Don't touch our children. When she's finished her tea, she's leaving. And make sure you give those blankets a good scrub.
I heard that.
What's she doing here, Mother? She looks all grubby.
And that too, blending cheeks.
How was your tea going down?
Slowly.
Where are you from exactly, Lillian?
Memory's a bit hazy. Got no mother and father. That's all I know. I remember a big house. Not a lovely home like you good people have, but a cold, desolate place. Children my age working all day and all night for scraps of food and bars of gruel. No nice food, no nice presents.
You've got a doll.
Yeah, she's my lucky charm. Ain't as much luck as I can get.
I'm afraid you have to go back there to the workhouse.
Yes, I do suppose I would. What is 5 long up there in the freezing cold, would I?
Do you want to see one of my dolls?
Go on then.
Florence runs over to the tree and produces an ordinary china doll with an immaculate dress.
Her name is Prudence. I'd let you hold her, but she dirties quickly, so I'd rather you just look at her. She's one of a set.
Things about dolls, sweetheart. Is the more you hold them, the more they loves. And yours looks a bit unloved, to be frank. Like you got too many and just been sitting on a shelf.
And honestly, you don't play with yours much, do you, Florence?
Don't side with the workhouse wench, Mother.
So, Lillian, what will you be expecting for Christmas lunch?
Nothing special. Maybe a big grizzly meat and some veg for supper, if we're lucky. Sometimes household jobs are put in aren't used. That gets gathered up by the governor and his mistress.
We'll be expecting some roasted goose with delicious stuffing, gravy, and some potatoes. For dessert, I'm hoping for a lemon tart with cream, Christmas pudding with bread sauce, and maybe some fig rolls.
You get fat and die like that. Oh, whoops. Too late there.
That is very, very, very rude.
I'll get over it.
I think it's time you left.
Of course, ma'am.
Lillian gets to her feet, then clutches her head in an exaggerated manner.
Goodness me. I've come up with you. I best rest here so I feel a little bit better.
Shall I get the hot water bottle, madame?
Certainly not. She finished her tea and she goes.
Lillian sips her tea slowly. Edith shuffles from side to side and Edward sulks. Lillian starts to hum to herself. In a bleak mind winter. Samuel looks uncomfortable.
I've heard there are employment opportunities for youngsters after attending these workhouse establishments.
Yeah, those are looking ones to get out. Find work in a household or a factory.
My parents work in a workhouse. I go see them on my days off.
You never said you did.
In fairness, you never said what I did on my days off, ma'am.
How are they doing?
They're doing okay. Nearly 60 now. Little chance of different employment for them, but they're a bit kept mostly more in bed.
Do they have friends there?
Oh yes, it's a real community. It's very little money, but people stick together.
I've heard there is something to be said about huddling together for warmth. I do suppose.
Yeah, there's a lot of huddle where I come from, so. And the Blackwell Workhouse, lots of being grateful for what we've got. Lots of community spirit. The work's hard, and I'm gonna go straight to the establishment, even if you go the extra mile. But the poor job lot ain't they, so? With the ready red cheeks and unkempt hair, the things about these people, so. The poor, so if they can find together, working all these hours together, the diseases are contained. The lice and the scabs and the influenza. Even most good hearted doctors wouldn't set foot in the workhouse when there's an outbreak of chola. People cough and wheeze and diagnosing in the corner. But it's contained. But it's not. It's better to the decent folks. Weren't you all hungry? The men get sports out there all morning. And they wouldn't want one Christmas lunch with a late breakfast now. It's all the goose to eat, isn't there? And I wonder where the scraps go. To the household staff? Possibly. To the seniors' poorhouse? Oh, I doubt that. I bet the scraps are given straight to the dogs. Dogs were kept alive to me. Oh, find your nightmares.
There are 3 loud knocks on the door. Celia jumps.
There's somebody at the door. I best answer it. Days like this, freezing outside, I might need your help, like a waif in the snow. Remember me.
Lillian walks over to the door and opens it. Suddenly, a flood of raggedy urchins flood into the living room. Sela screams. And Florence and Edward back away into the corner. The urchins run around the room, leaping and dancing, singing and calling out, but not damaging anything or touching the food on the table.
Who did who? Look at all these nice stuff.
Lovely, just lovely.
What a wonderful Christmas it is here.
In a flurry, the urchins run out of the door, and there is silence. Lillian is nowhere to be found.
Well, I never.
Are you okay, dear?
Right as rain. Lillian appears to have gone with them.
They didn't touch the food or the Christmas tree.
You look as pale as a sheet, Edward. Sit down. Have some food. It's a lot of food for one family. Maybe Lillian had a point. Maybe some of it could go to those less fortunate nearby.
That is a possibility, Edward. Edith, could you help me look around this house just to make sure all of those little blighters have gone?
Edith looks dazed, staring into space.
Edith, you look very pale. Are you not well?
Perfectly well, sir. It's just what Lillian said about the Blackheath workhouse, sir.
I've never heard of it. It can be local.
It was a notorious poorhouse. I dreaded being sent there once I was a child. There was an outbreak of cholera. Many died. Many children, the poor, the waifs, and the strays. It was ripped apart down 15 years ago, made into a nice 3-story house for a wealthy family. The family before you moved in. In fact, sir, the house was built on the site of the Blackheath workhouse.
Samuel pauses before heading over to the table. He starts loading the tray full of bread and cheeses.
With respect, sir, that's the Christmas breakfast.
Your parents live far away, do they?
The workhouse in town, the Friars Inn.
Oh, let's give them a Christmas they won't forget, eh? Come on, Lawrence, pack up the larder. We'll deliver some Christmas cheer into Edith's parents and their friends.
Walking through the snow?
Through the snow, whatever it takes. Oh, and Edith?
Yes, sir?
The window of my study. Leave it open, just for Christmas. I hope you enjoyed our play, and we wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.